Hello everyone, this is Mrs. McCreary. Today we're going to talk about allegations, also sometimes called averages or means. So if you've heard those terms before, that's what we're talking about. In Elementary Treatise section 128, it says an allegation is to find the mean value of several things of the same kind that have several values. So the first example they give is excuse me, a wine merchant bought several kinds of wine, namely 130 bottles, which cost him 10 cents each, 75 bottles at 15 cents each, 231 bottles at 12 cents each, 27 bottles at 20 cents each. He afterwards mixed them together. It is required to ascertain the cost of a bottle of the mixture. So really what we're doing is we are just adding up all of the total bottles and the total amount of money that he spent, and then we're going to divide the total amount of money that was spent on all the bottles by the number of bottles to figure out this new wine, how much it cost per bottle. Okay, so we're going to set this up very similar to the chart that is in your text. So we have 130 at 10 cents, 75 bottles at 15 cents, 231 bottles at 12 cents, 27 bottles at 20 cents. Okay, so now at this point, you can do it one of two ways. Either you can add up all your bottles, add up all your values, and multiply, or you can multiply at each level for each type of wine. And I think that's what I'm going to do. So, the first type of wine that he originally bought at 10 cents each, excuse me, he bought 130 bottles at 10 cents each for 1,300 cents. The second, he bought 75 bottles at 15 cents each for 1,125 cents altogether. The third, he bought 231 bottles at 12 cents each for a total of 2,772 cents. And the last, he bought 27 bottles of 20-cent wine for a total of 540 cents. Alright, so now we're going to add all of this together. So we have 7, 3, 4, 5, 10, 17, 5. Okay, so we spent 5,737 cents on, now we're going to look at how many bottles he has. Alright, so 3, 5, plus 4 is 9, plus 7 is 16, 7. There we go. Okay. Okay, so now we have a total of 5,737 cents that was paid for 463 bottles of wine. So now we're just going to divide the total amount that was paid by the number of bottles. Alright, so you can continue for much farther, I'm sure, to find the end of this decimal, but we're just going to say that it was 12 and 3/10 of a cent per bottle. Alright? So again, what we did, we just added up the total cost of all the bottles of wine and divided by the number of bottles that there were. Okay, so a second example that we have, a distance was measured several times in order to obtain the distance exactly, and twice it was found at 3,794 yards and 2 feet. 3 other measurements have given 3,795 yards and 1 foot, and a third measurement 3,793 yards. So again, what we're going to do, I'm just going to write them out the number of times. You could go ahead and do the multiplication. I'm just going to write them as they were given. So we have 3, 7, 9, 4, 2. 3, 7, 9, 4, 2. Again, writing it twice because that value is found twice. 3, 7, 9, 5, 1. 3, 7, 9, 5, 1. 3, 7, 9, 5, 1. Written 3 times because they found it 3 times, and then 3, 7, 9, 3. We add this all together, and then we will divide by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to find the average of all of those, or the alligation of all of those. So 1, 2, 3, 7. Now again, these are feet and these are yards, so that makes it, if we have 7 feet, we have 2 additional yards and 1 foot left over. So here we have 5, 10, 15, 3 and 2 is 20, 28. Lots of 9s. So there should be 6 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times 9 is 54, plus 2 more is 56. 6 times 7 is 42, plus 5 more is 47. Nope, that's the wrong one. 47. 6 times 3 is 18, plus 4 is 22. Alright, and now we're just going to divide this by 6 because there were 6 measurements taken. I'm going to leave that 1 foot off for the moment, just to make my division a little bit simpler. Though, of course, we do know how to divide a compound number from that week that we studied it. And again, and as I'm dividing, our answer should be very similar to these measurements, because although there was a difference of up to 2 yards and a foot, these first 3 numbers should be very similar all the way across the board, which that is what we're getting when we divide, which is expected. Okay, so now we have 3,794 yards with a remainder of 4/6 of a yard. 4/6 of a yard is the same as 2/3 of a yard, which is the same as 2 feet. We also have that other foot that I took off. But then that other foot would end up being 1/6 of a foot. All right. So then that would be 5/6 of a yard. All right. So again, whatever the value you have, since they are all of the same kind, you're just going through adding up all of the different values that you have, whether you have 463 of them or 6, looking at whatever method would be easiest here. I didn't want to write 10 130 times. I didn't want to write 12 231 times, which is exactly why multiplication was invented. So we used multiplication and then addition. Here I just went ahead and added everything. But again, you're just adding up all the values you have and dividing by the number of values. If you're familiar with averaging or finding the mean, that's exactly what we're doing. Again, we just have another name for it. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I will talk to you at our live chat.